We're continuing with the halachot of Tevilat Yadayim, Siman Kuf Nun Tet, Sif Yud Zayin. Maran brings down that when you're going to do something which is called Tevilat Yadayim, so if you're going to come and you're going to dip your hands, whether it's going to be in a river or in a stream for Tevilat Yadayim, you have to put both hands inside the water at one time. You cannot come and put your hands inside or take from the water and then start pouring, because then what happens is that you don't have Tevilat Yadayim, and you don't have Tevilat Yadayim. Tevilat Yadayim means that you're dipping your hands in the water, and Tevilat Yadayim means that you're taking from the water and you are pouring on top of your hands. Now, obviously, for Netilat Yadayim, you always need a keli. Here, if you're just going to come and put the water that you have in one hand and pour it over the other, you don't have Tevilat Yadayim because you didn't dip your hands in the water, and you don't have Netilat Yadayim. So therefore, that's going to be a problem. Now, if you did do one Netilat Yadayim in one hand, you did Tevilat Yadayim, it is going to be a good Netilat Yadayim. It's going to be Yitzhak Chuvah, which means that you could come and put one hand inside. Now I just did Tevilat Yadayim, for example, on the right hand, and then I come and take it out and take a utensil, I pick up the water, and now I'm going to do 3 times on the left hand, and now it's going to do Netilat Yadayim. So you could do one hand Tevilat Yadayim and one hand Netilat Yadayim. It still works, right? There's not going to be a problem with that. According to everybody, obviously you would make the beracha al Netilat Yadayim. Now there is going to be a difference between Tevilat Yadayim and Netilat Yadayim. Sometimes it happens. For example, you're on a boat, right, and you want to do Tevilat Yadayim. Okay, so therefore, right, you would be able to, right? You don't have water now to come and start doing Netilat Yadayim, so you come, you put your hands in the water, and that's it. You just did Tevilat Yadayim. Now, Maran says something very interesting in Sif Yutet. He says, if somebody does Tevilat Yadayim, you do not need to dip it twice in the water. You don't have to dry your hands, and you don't have to put your hands towards your head. If you remember, we were learning that when you're doing Netilat Yadayim, towards the end of Netilat Yadayim, what do? You come, you start doing Netilat Yadayim, you pick your hands up, and you make the beracha. Right? Here, you do not need to do that. You also don't need to dry your hands. Usually by Netilat Yadayim, you have to dry your hands. And if you don't dry your hands properly, it's like you're eating lechem tameh. It's like you're eating impure bread. However, though, here, when you're doing Tevilat Yadayim, you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to do it more than once. You just dip your hands once in the water, that's it. You don't have to dip it 3 times. Nothing whatsoever. However, though, al pi Kabbalah, you still have to come and dip it 3 times in the water and pick up your hands towards your head. But that is only al pi Kabbalah. Mitzad halacha, the second that you dip your hands once in the water, that's Tevilat Yadayim. You don't have to do anything else. And Sif Kaf just comes in and says that Shitat Maran, and also it's Ashkenazim halacha l'maaseh nowadays, it's their minhag, is that no matter what, you always do the beracha al Netilat Yadayim, which means, because the Rama brings down that some people say that when you're doing Tevilah, you would make the beracha al Tevilat Yadayim or al Shtifat Yadayim. We don't hold of that. Even Ashkenazim nowadays have the minhag that the second that you dip your hands in the water, you would still make the beracha al Netilat Yadayim. You're not going to make any other beracha, so that is what Maran says, and that's also the minhag nowadays of the Ashkenazim. So therefore, if it is going to be that you're going right to sea, and you're going to be right now in a boat, and you don't have any water or a keli to come and to do Netilat Yadayim, you're allowed to come, you'll do Tevilat Yadayim. What does that mean? You go to the side of the boat, you dip your hands in the water once. That's all that you need to do mitzad halacha. You make the beracha al Netilat Yadayim. You don't even have to dry it. And then afterwards you come and you eat your bread. However, though, again, a pi Kabbalah, you would dip it 3 times, and then you would put it up against your head just like you would do it for regular Netilat Yadayim, and then you would make the beracha, but for sure you're going to come and you're going to make the beracha of al Netilat Yadayim.